Hi everyone, my name's Christine and I'm an occupational therapist and a director at Boost Therapy, which is a mobile occupational therapy and speech pathology service for kids in Brisbane. I just wanted to do a quick video building on the last video that I did about puzzles. So I got some great feedback from people saying that they found that helpful, so I thought I'd do the next kind of step. So if you haven't seen my first video, you can check it out. Maybe not if you're actually watching live, stay with me. But otherwise, so we were talking about kind of the progression from shape sorters to like the knob kind of puzzles to like two-piece puzzles. So we had like a photo that we chopped in half. I've also got like the commercially, I don't have two pieces that match. Oh, there they are. So like the two-piece puzzles. So that's kind of where we finished off last time with these kind of two-piece puzzles, early puzzles, as well as the DIY ones that we did, which was laminating a picture, cutting it in pieces, and then sticking it onto the Mega Blocks. So you can check that video out. The next kind of stage is obviously more pieces. So you can get kind of 4-piece puzzles or kind of in-betweeny numbered puzzles, but often the next ones are 12-piece puzzles, or actually I've got one that's a 9-piece puzzle here today. So I just thought I'd show you how you might introduce that, or some of the little easier steps to kind of reduce maybe some frustration. Maybe like pieces are kind of getting scattered everywhere, or we just kind of don't know where to start. So the one that I've got here today is an old favourite of mine. If you've worked with me before, you might recognise it. I've miraculously kept all of the pieces. So this one is a 9-piece puzzle. It's a wooden puzzle that has kind of quite big pieces, which is helpful as well. So when we think about the kinds of skills that we're working on with puzzles, kind of got the fine motor aspect. So sometimes you want to keep the pieces nice and big to make that a little bit easier, so that that's not a huge challenge. But you've also got the problem solving, kind of practicing perseverance, as well as the visual perceptual skills that we are practicing in having to work out, make sense of visual information and work out where the pieces go. So with this puzzle, once you take all the pieces out, there's nothing there. So, and that's quite common for some of these early puzzles I've found. So unless they come with, they're in a box with a lid, you won't actually have the kind of picture there. So what I suggest is to take a photo with like maybe your iPad or your phone. And if it's on an iPad, you could kind of just have it on the iPad and you don't have to do anything else. Except if your child's pretty distracted by iPads, then you might want to do what I've done and print it out. So I've just taken a photo, printed it out, and that way we've got a bit of a comparison. So your child doesn't have to try and remember where was everything and kind of have to get clues from this tiny little border that's pretty tricky for a child when they're first doing puzzles. So that might be a nice way to present it. Maybe if you're not sure if your child's up to this, you might just leave it out, maybe with the picture and maybe a couple of the pieces in and not all of them, and just see if they're curious or wanting to give it a go. So that is one of my tips. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is obviously just talking about then how do we start. We can have a look at talking about the straight edges of pieces and how corners have 2 straight edges, and kind of exploring that together, and kind of being able to experiment. Oh no, that's not a straight edge, so that doesn't fit. So that's just a nice way to talk about some of those concepts as well. A lot easier with a picture kind of prompt. So I think that's all I had to share at the moment. But if that's been helpful, I'd love for you to let me know. Oh, sorry, my dog is just in the frame there. Do you want to be a part of it? Taking the toddler to daycare, but can't get away from the dog. So if that's been helpful, I'd love for you to let me know. Or if you have some tips that you've used, I would love to hear them, because I think kids all learn really differently, and if there's been different ways you've talked about puzzles, or like this kind of stage of puzzles with your child, or different strategies that you've used that have been helpful. I'd love for you to share them. I think that we can all kind of learn from each other in that way, and kind of add a few more tools in the toolkit. So yeah, that's all from me today. Thanks so much for watching the video. If it's been helpful, feel free to share it with friends or family. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.